G'day everyone and welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be me on my way back to my Knackers Yard. Not done one of these for a little while. I'm not going to ride and chat, and I have no idea if you can even hear me through the wind. It's a beautiful sunny evening, and I've just basically coming back from my first, I suppose, proper test of blue. Now I bought blue for the non-regular viewers. I bought blue as my job was changing location from the burbs where I live into central London. Excuse me. Yeah, from the burbs to central London, and because of that I needed a ULEZ. I needed a ULEZ compliant bike. So newer than approximately 2007. So I've just got my my normal headset blurring away there. One of many advantages for this bike is the fact that I can actually listen to audiobooks because it's quiet enough. It doesn't drown me out. And the majority of the noise that I suffer from is wind noise from buying a relatively inexpensive modular helmet, which I might have to rethink. So as far as journey is concerned, I don't know if you can see my trip counter there, 208 miles according to my sat nav. I'm 13 short from home, so you know, the best side of 220 mile round trip, so a couple of hours in the saddle. Now I actually feel like I can, fucking bell end, I can actually make a comment on the bike, because I've now spent a decent amount of time sat in the saddle of it, and I have to say, it's bloody brilliant. Now obviously I've not been using this bike for the purpose it's designed for. It's designed to be a touring bike. Wrong, I'll rephrase that. It's designed to be a touring / commuting bike. And I've been using it for that / piece more than I have as a touring bike, and it's a great commute bike. It really is. It's big but not cumbersome. It's heavy but not daft. It'd be too heavy for some. I'm not saying I'm super strong or anything, but I am used to the 900 diversion that I had before, which was a fucking heavy bike. But this is it's a lovely place to be. Now I've had a solid 2 hours. Well, a solid 2 hours. No, I had a 10-minute stop for an ice cream because I was fucking red as. This dude is staring at his phone, not on me. Now he's noticed I'm there. Well done you. Texting whilst riding, that's a new one on me. Yeah, and it's really comfortable, really comfortable. Don't get me wrong, I ache a little bit. I haven't done this for a very long time, and I certainly haven't done a trip this long in ages. You know, I'm talking an easy year since I've done a journey like this. So, you know, I'm out of practice, I'm out of shape to a degree. I'm not bike fit. There is a degree of getting your body used to being held in a position for a period of time that, you know, I'm not saying it's unnatural, not an unnatural position at all, but staying in a single position for a prolonged time is quite an unnatural act. Obviously you wiggle and move and everything else, but there are limits to what you can do without falling off. Although standing up periodically does help. So what about the bike? Now, a few people asked questions about fuel consumption when I first got this, and I said I'd test it, and I need to caveat it though. My previous commute, this is not my commute by the way, this is a work trip. I'm not going to be doing 220 miles today. That's a bit too much saddle time for anybody, I think. But what was I saying? Yeah, my normal commute was a 12-mile each way commute, so nothing. There's certainly nothing that needs anything close to this. It was, you know, a bugger all commute. My next commute is into central London, although I am starting off on public transport just till I can sort shit out. Admin life, yeah. So this is a kind of a one-off thing. My 12-mile commute on this destroyed the fuel economy. Now, it's a horrible thing to admit, but I got 100 miles out of the tank. Now, I'm not saying that I completely brimmed the tank, nor am I saying I ran it dead or ran it down to nothing. You know, I ran it low as I was comfortable with before I had to go to work the next day, and I didn't have time to stop for fuel and all that sort of thing. But I ran it low, and I got 100 miles out of the tank. Now that is fucking awful. It really is. And come on. And that did concern me, because I was thinking 100 miles out of a tank ain't good. And if that's in commute mode. Now, my commute was a short commute. You may well have joined me on it a few times. Lots of stopping and starting, not a lot of speed, etc. And I got 100 miles out of that tank, roughly. Probably about 120 would have been more accurate if I'd done it brimmed and done it to the bottom. I don't like riding bikes down to empty. Particularly old bikes, you don't know much about their history. You've no idea what's in that bottom, you know, that bottom recesses of the tank. You could be sucking all sorts of shit through the bike, particularly because this is fuel injected. I'm not comfortable with fuel injection bikes. Running crap through injectors would be pushing me into new territory. Something I'll have to do at some point, i.e. cleaning injectors, but something I've not done yet. It'd be less of a concern for me with a carburetted bike, because I can sloosh out carburetors in no time at all. But, you know, about 100 miles. This I got there, which was 110 miles on a full tank, and it had just dipped below the half to get me back. Now, I'm not going to say that that's a 200 mile tank, because fuel gauges don't work that way. They're not that accurate, and actually, I'm still not convinced they compensate enough for the change in shape of a tank. Anybody with a motorbike with a fuel gauge will testify to the fact that it drops down really quite quickly towards the end. It tails off quite quickly. I'm not convinced that when they scale the fuel gauge, they particularly account for the fact that your fuel tank isn't a box. Ooh, I should have gone round that. Isn't a box. It is it is a cone. So therefore, when you get to the bottom, it will empty. It will show empty quicker. I don't know if the indicator there. Too busy talking to you and not concentrating on what I was doing. So yeah, that's 100 miles and a half a tank. Yeah, so you're looking closer at 200 miles out of a full tank, which is a lot closer to what this should do. How was your ride now? It was fucking brilliant. This thing eats motorways. The top end, it's a race to top gear, and that's you just sit in it. But if you twist the throttle, it does throw you back, and it does go for it. It doesn't meander at all. It's got some real top end, and lots of people have been saying about, it's a detuned Fireblade engine. I want to go on a Fireblade. I want to feel what that's like when you rip it at 70. Obviously, I didn't do that very often, but just in the quiet bits. What I also discovered was what I'd known for years and I'd forgotten. It's the fact that the M4 is one of the fucking windiest motorways because it's surrounded by farmland, you just get the blow across, and it's never consistent, it's never constant, it's always cutting and stopping. So when you're riding on it, you do find yourself looking to see what scenery is coming, because that's going to have a large influence to how much crosswind you're going to get struck by. But yeah, I'll do a bit more of a, up close and personal with Blue, but as a long range commute bike, the CBF1000 is fucking lovely. Cheers all, I'll catch you later. Ta-da. Morning everyone, another day, another ride, and a longer one this one. My uploads are kind of all over the place at the moment. I built quite a heady stock while I had a couple of weeks off, and I'm slowly but surely sort of chunking through those with the intention that they kind of cover the gap slightly as my time on bikes goes back to, well, something approaching normal, or something approaching less than normal actually, because I have started my new job, so I've got a bit more time commuting, therefore a little bit less evening time, etc, etc. Today is Friday. I have the day off today. The reason I have the day off today is that I've got a family trip to Lakefest, which is up Herefordshire Way, music festival, camping, etc, etc. A whole bunch of us, loads of people, loads of tents, loads of kids. Essentially it's the grouping that we used to camp with years ago, before we all had kids, and then people started rocking up with kids, and now we're all there with kids, which is kind of strange. Not always at Lakefest. We used to do Newquay and Cornwall and all that sort of thing, normally around Easter. But yeah, ramble. We now kind of have to do it timed with school holidays because we've 4 kids. The good lady and the kids went down early. They went down yesterday. Not the most fun drive in the world. It's it's just shy of 100 miles. But on the bright side, it means that the missus and the kids would have put up the tents and everything. Not that I planned it that way. So yeah, they were advance guard, and I couldn't take yesterday off, so I'm following on today. But it does mean that I get another opportunity to hack Blue around, and I suppose it's forming one upload, which is on the CBF1000 on Blue, saying, what's he like now. You would have seen, well, probably a minute ago, so I'm not going to repeat it too much, but I don't do this often. Regrettably, I'm starting to quite like it, and I think how I domestically broach the subject of having a holiday on my own on a bike is going to be a tricky one, but I'll try it at some point. But yeah, it means that I can stretch his legs a bit and actually put some miles on him, uninterrupted miles. I'm not doing a range check. I'm not messing around with my odometer trying to keep an eye on how far I go on a tank or anything like that, because basically because I bottle it. I bottle it, and I don't want to go towards the bottom of a tank of fuel. You are completely, oh no, you are in the right lane. See, it's lovely to have the opportunity to do that. The ability to just rattle around stuff. It's something that you don't get in a lower CC bike. Yeah, you can do it on a 600 quite happily, but anything below that little manoeuvre gets a little bit difficult. So what about the bike? I literally put him away after the last sort of 220 mile day, parked him up, emptied out my backpack of all my daily worth of crap, and then pulled him out. What's today? 4 days later. No dramas at all. I don't like doing that. I like to give the bike a check over before long rides and this and the other. I really didn't have time, but everything feels absolutely fine, as it should, I suppose. should be nothing monumental about that for a bike. But it's a Honda, it just chogs on quite happily. Now, weight-wise, I don't have side panniers. I said previously, I don't, you know, that's not what I use the bike for. It's not what I have used the bike for, but I might start thinking about it actually for longer shit like this. I mean, I don't know. Frankly, not at the moment, because although I've got the top box in it, it's only got my normal sort of commute bag chucked in there. Just with a different set of stuff in it, mostly things that were forgotten on the packing list to go camping. So I've got quite an eclectic packing going on. I am going to have to stop off for fuel somewhere. I don't know if there's a petrol station here. Oh, there's a Sainsbury's one there. How do I get to that? Oh, there's an Asda one there. That's a bit daft. How am I doing? I want to do it now rather than when I get on the motorways. I think I'll go round the roundabout and do it that way. I should have planned this before. It's all about preparation, that. How do I get over there? That fairing buzz seems to have reappeared. That's irritating. I do need to sort out this front end. I really do. No, I'll just go all the way around. Oh no, there's a petrol station up there. That's handy. I'll go that way. Assuming I can get into it this way. Yeah, I can. E5, excellent. Now this is better. Now for all of the people that keep complaining about my commute being shit and I need to get out and about, well, here I am. Frankly, you're probably right. This is amazing. I'm not kicking the arse out of it. I'm probably going a little bit faster than I should. 70 and a 60. Don't get me wrong, I'm tempted to twist it and just go for what I can, but no, I'm not that sort of rider. But this is just lovely, unencumbered by cars in front. No point taking the piss too much around here. It's only going to take somebody overtaking when they shouldn't. And not expecting some lunatic on a 1 litre bike to come round the corner. Or a junction like that. Oh, it was too good to last. I was always going to catch up with traffic, but yeah, nice. Might drop you in if I find another bit like that, actually. Cheers all. Okay, so it's a few days later, so forgive any continuity errors within this, like I've got flip-flops on, for example. Let's do a bit of a wrap up really, I suppose. So first time I've really used this in anger and in anything approaching rage. A bit of a crack there, there's just mud landed on it. Wonderful. Really using a bike for the purpose that it was built for. This was built for long hauls, and I've not been using it that, and probably won't again for a little while actually, but it's just responded beautifully. It rides beautifully, it handles beautifully. Bits that people have said about the bike: stator, it's charged fine. I've had no charging issues at all. The other one that I think frankly pisses me off more than the others is the number of people that said, oh no, but they vibrate. They vibrate. Really? As yours? Have you owned one, or are you just repeating stuff that you've read or heard from others? I've had this at all rev ranges, at all speeds, including some that were near the top end, and there was no vibrations at all, and there's no bar ends on there, there's no nothing. Absolutely fine, no buzzing knuckles, no sore fingers, no numb fingers, no nothing. Brilliant. Brakes, I know people won't like the fact that they're balanced, so brake does some of the front and front does some of the back. I know people won't like that, but once you get used to it, it is just lovely. It's really relaxing, really relaxing. It means that you can go quite hard into a corner, pull the front brake without worrying about the nose dipping too far, or indeed sliding out to the left or the right. I've never raced bikes, I don't know what it would do on a racetrack, but actually pissing around in country lanes, it's lovely. It really is lovely. Right, there you go. So this is my 2007 CB1000F. Massive thumbs up, brilliant bike. If you're thinking of getting one, don't be put off by the lack of sexiness around them. They're just truly great bikes. I think one day, not yet because this has got several years as is, but one day I do wonder what it would look like with that full front end torn off, and do something different at the front, because it's a wonderful, wonderful engine. It's great drive, great ride. I wouldn't want to change too much because the ride geometry is really comfortable. And bearing in mind I'm quite a tall rider, that's not a common thing. Right, cheers all. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, or better still in this case, thanks for dipping in and seeing my opinion on a CB1000, CBF1000. They're brilliant, grab one. Cheers all, ta-da.